Ultraviolet (UV) radiation is one of the most dangerous and insidious environmental threats to human skin, and its effects are far more destructive and long-lasting than most people realize. Despite the increasing awareness campaigns and warnings from dermatologists, far too many still underestimate the silent damage UV rays can inflict. Whether from natural sunlight or artificial sources like tanning beds, exposure to ultraviolet radiation initiates a cascade of harmful biological events in the skin that accumulate over time and lead not only to visible signs of damage, but also to irreversible internal cellular harm. UV radiation is composed primarily of UVA and UVB rays, each with slightly different yet overlapping impacts. UVA rays penetrate deeper into the dermis, the thickest layer of the skin, and are the main culprits behind premature aging, causing the breakdown of collagen and elastin fibers, which are responsible for the skin's firmness and elasticity. Over time, repeated UVA exposure leads to sagging skin, fine lines, wrinkles, and an uneven texture, all of which are classic signs of photoaging. This isn't just a cosmetic concern. The degradation of structural proteins in the dermis also impairs the skin's ability to repair itself, leaving it more vulnerable to additional injuries, infections, and further UV damage. UVB rays, on the other hand, are primarily responsible for sunburn and more direct DNA damage. This is particularly concerning because UVB rays are known to cause mutations in the DNA of skin cells, especially in the tumor suppressor genes that normally help regulate cell growth and repair. When these genes are damaged, the skin becomes significantly more prone to developing skin cancers, including the deadly malignant melanoma. Alarmingly, even a single blistering sunburn during childhood or adolescence can double the risk of melanoma later in life. This illustrates just how critical early protection is and how long-lasting the consequences of UV exposure can be, even if the damage isn't immediately visible. It's important to note that UV radiation does not require direct sunlight to cause harm. Up to 80% of UV rays can penetrate cloud cover, and they also reflect off surfaces like water, sand, concrete, and snow, intensifying exposure without people even realizing it. This means outdoor activities during cloudy or cool days are just as risky as bright, sunny ones. Windows, too, are a hidden threat. UVA rays can pass through glass, so spending long hours indoors by a window or driving without UV protective tinting can still lead to significant cumulative exposure. Artificial sources of UV light, such as tanning beds, are even more dangerous than natural sunlight. Tanning beds emit doses of UVA and UVB radiation at intensities far exceeding those of the sun, which drastically accelerates skin aging and increases cancer risk. Many young adults, particularly women, continue to use tanning beds despite growing evidence linking them to early onset of melanoma. In fact, the World Health Organization has classified tanning beds as a Group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco smoke and asbestos. Long-term UV exposure also disrupts the skin's immune function. Langerhans cells, which help the skin detect and respond to pathogens, are reduced by UV radiation. This suppression of immune response can allow infections to progress more easily and may impair the body's ability to detect and destroy precancerous or cancerous cells. Combined with oxidative stress caused by UV-induced free radicals, which damage cell membranes, proteins, and even mitochondria, this sets the stage for chronic inflammation, discoloration, and lasting cellular dysfunction. Pigmentation changes such as freckles, sunspots, and melasma are also driven largely by UV exposure. While often dismissed as benign or merely cosmetic, these pigment disorders can be persistent, difficult to treat, and in some cases, psychologically distressing. Hyperpigmentation, especially in darker skin tones, can become pronounced and resistant to conventional therapies, creating long-term challenges for individuals trying to manage both the appearance and health of their skin. Preventing UV damage is not as simple as applying sunscreen once a day. Many people use inadequate amounts, fail to reapply after swimming or sweating, or use products with insufficient broad-spectrum protection. Even high SPF products can give a false sense of security, leading users to spend more time in the sun than they otherwise would. Comprehensive protection requires a multi-pronged approach. Wearing protective clothing, wide-brimmed hats, UV-blocking sunglasses, seeking shade during peak UV hours, and using high-quality, broad-spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher, applied liberally and frequently. In the long run, the cost of ignoring UV protection is steep. Beyond the visible signs of aging, chronic UV exposure weakens the skin's integrity, increases the risk of scarring, exacerbates skin conditions like rosacea and eczema, and places a tremendous burden on the body's repair mechanisms. By the time the consequences of years of unprotected exposure become noticeable, the damage is already deeply embedded in the skin structure, often irreversible and, in some cases, life-threatening. UV radiation is not just a cosmetic concern. It is a pervasive, silent aggressor that chips away at skin health every day, regardless of climate, season, or age. Failing to take it seriously is one of the most preventable, yet most commonly ignored, contributors to both premature aging and serious disease. The stakes are far too high to leave protection to chance.